Hello, my name is Stela Mishkovic. I'm a playwright and dramatist from Cetinje, Montenegro, and I will be your host today. It's an honor to participate in the first edition of the European Alternative Theatre Strumen Drang Festival. I'm also thrilled to announce that today I will host conversation with Francesca Pennini, the founder of the company CollettivO CineticO. Hello, Francesca.
Hello, I'm
The company CollettivO CineticO. The company CollettivO CineticO explores the connection between dance, theater, and visual art. That is, explores complexity of the performance art itself. Our topic today is the performance called 10 mini ballets, 10 MINIBALLETTI. I think I pronounced it right. It's a series of dances that ranges from geometric shapes to, I will dare say, storm. It gives the impression of testing the limits of the body. Through the repetition of movements and improvisation, this play explores the relation between choreography and dance. Since we are speaking before the show and the audience hasn't seen it yet, I think that they would like for us to start with basics. So, Francesca, what did you want to say, to express with this performance, and how did you approach this creative process?
Well, it's a peculiar piece for me, since with the company I started with very large projects with a lot of people, and the feeling of being a collective, of being plural, was always with me in my practice. And after almost 10 years, I felt ready somehow to work on a solo. And it was very difficult, actually. I started thinking about myself and my biography, but not for narcissistic aim, or it's not that I have something special to tell about myself, but I started from here because it is my reality. And from that, I used my biography as a dancer to speak about my position on dance, and what it means for me to be on stage and to be in relation with the audience.
It seems to me that lots of energy is spent to control the body movement. How much can the movement be controlled? How hard and how necessary is it when we talk about this performance and dance in general? Is that actually what dance is about, amongst other things, of course, body control? How do you see it?
Well, the game is, I think, that you cannot control it. You cannot. But you need to work on it constantly. So it's this fight, is this friction that keeps the movement. The wish to control, but with awareness and surrendering to the fact that you will never. So staying in this limit, trying something that for your body is on the edge of the possibility, means the challenge, but also the shared vulnerability and truth of it. So I stay in something that is difficult, that is not sure. It's not that I know that I can make it. Maybe this evening it works, maybe it doesn't. So it's a discovery. And I think that the work on controlling the body, it should be in dance in general, a work towards knowing the body, a knowledge that is not a mechanical training, but is really an understanding of what the complexity that happens in every moment that you think with your body and that you feel.
Yes. And in this play, you also physically explore the relationship, as you said before, of closeness to and distance from the spectators. How important is the relationship with the audience, and why?
For me, it's one of the most important thing, I think. That's why also maybe in this moment with the pandemic and all, it's a very strong topic, because for 10 MINIBALLETTI, something very weird happened. For the first time while I was creating the piece, I couldn't understand what it was. And usually I'm inside and outside, or sometimes just outside directing the piece. And I have a feeling of it also because I see the others, even if I don't see myself. with this work, not only because I was performing and not seeing, but it was also some more philosophical thing. I couldn't understand not what I was doing, but the taste of it, like the real essence.
Mastery.
Yes. And I felt it for the first time just when I had an audience in front of me. So when the spectators were there, it was like having consistency, having seeing for the first time, having a mirror, a feedback. Not that it was good or bad, but what it was. And also because of this, the relationship with the audience and the spectator and his gaze and his thoughts is the thing that make real what is the performance, that is an ontological thing. It's not just a sharing, a communication. It's really existence.
You said that beautifully. You said before that you use the notebook from your childhood as the score of this exploration. It contains writings for about a dozen choreographies invented but never performed. How does, you said something a little bit before, but I must ask you, how does your personal history relate to this play, and how did you choose which choreographies to include in the show?
Well, I had this book, the choreography, of course, they are not like the most amazing choreographies in the world, but I was fascinated by the fact that they were just written. So I didn't perform them when I was a child. I was just writing them, and the thinking and imagining it was the thing. And so when I got them and tried to do them, I also shared it with the other members of the company, the other dancers. They were very difficult. Something was completely impossible, because also the brain, the thoughts can go much farther than the body. Yes. In some ways it's the opposite. But we were very amused, and it was fun because we became professional dancers, and we couldn't perform the choreography I wrote as a child. And so I was reflecting on the difference between writing and also choreography as a fixed, written score, and the actual
physical performance.
Yes, that is much more complex and varying. And so I used this choreography to see the spectrum of what then the body can become. And I worked with the other dancers, and we had the same score, but everyone worked on it separately, trying to be philological, like to do exactly what was written. And the choreographies were completely different, one from the other.
The music choice is also very interesting. It varies between Baroque, opera, pop, and different sounds. Why such a choice? Tell something about that. Is there some story behind that choice?
We start with the clavicembalo, the harpsichord, and the piece is like divided in two main parts. The first part is only harpsichord, but it starts from very ancient 1500-150,000 years. Frescobaldi's composer, that is from Ferrara, that is from my city in Italy. Oh. That's also why it's a connection with autobiography. Yes. And then it goes chronologically up to Bach and then to Ligeti. So it's a
dramaturgy of music.
Yes, in time.
Yes, great.
But with the same instrument.
And finally, something that piqued my curiosity as I watched the recording, during the announcement to one of the 10 mini ballets, you said that the letter W is one of the key words. What does that mean, please?
Well, this is also related to the language, because in my notebook I had a very specific language that is partially invented, and some of it is words that like child use. May use, and so I wanted to stick with this weird language. It's not just because you hear it like in Italian or in a different language. Also, Italians cannot understand much of it when I perform, because it's the language of a child, and because it's the language of a body. So you cannot really understand it. You need to accept and feel it. The W is for me. it needs a bit to stay a secret, but it's a geometrical shape. So it's like just the graphic, but it's also winning, like a winning sign.
Yes.
Like, I will make it. And I wanted to change the order of the thoughts, like something you can really understand is instruction and something is surreal, so that you cannot possess it, you have to imagine.
Great. I'm sure I didn't ask you everything because of the little of time. For the end, I would like to ask you if there is something that I didn't ask you and you would like to share with us and our future audience.
Let's see. Well, I really like the questions. Maybe I can say that this relation with the control and the freedom is expressed with this metaphor of the flight, of the element of air and of flight. So birds, feathers, also drones. When we did it in 2015, the drones were not so common, so the audience didn't know what it was. And when it started, everyone was like shocked.
Yes.
Now it's very usual, but this is also a bit autobiographical because I had this very strong phobia of pigeons and birds.
Oh.
That is related to control. So that's why I use this as a metaphor also for dance.
Great. Francesca, thank you for this wonderful talk, and thanks to the company CollettivO CineticO for taking part in the first edition of the North Macedonian Festival of European Alternative Theatre Strum und Drang. And thank you to the audience, and enjoy the show.
Thanks to you, and thanks to everyone. I hope you will enjoy.